It's snowing outside and it's time for a new video. So, hello guys. Today I am going to be reading classics or school books, as I would consider them, to see if they're actually good. Are school books actually good? Because most people consider school, like books that they read for school, some of their most hated books, and reading for school is is a big reason why people don't read because they've dreaded reading for school, hated reading for school. And honestly, I'm not a fan of reading books for school very largely, but I have assigned books that I'm going to be reading, and I'm going to be telling you, are they good? Are they not good? We'll see at the end of this video. I'll be starting with Their Eyes Are Watching God. So I've started, and I'll give an update. Okay, so Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston follows Janie, and basically Janie's ultimate dream or pursuit in life is love. So you're following her life as a black woman who is going through the time right after segregation, or during segregation, right after slavery, when I think it's Jim Crow laws were currently in effect, where it's separate but equal. So, that's the time frame. And we're just following this young girl who's going through a love story so far. And I think that's the whole idea. I like it so far. I will give some updates now. Here I have a stack. Okay. Here is a stack of books that I have read for school. And I will tell you which ones I like and dislike. So, liked. I've enjoyed school books. Like, I'm not gonna lie. The Great Gatsby was generally a pretty good book. Interesting. I liked Macbeth good enough. To Kill a Mockingbird, this one was very interesting, especially the trial aspect. A Raisin in the Sun, I found generally pretty funny. I thought it was funny, and I overall liked it. And then some that I didn't love, they were fine, but I didn't love Into the Wild. I just kind of found myself a little bit bored. Death of a Salesman, I was unsatisfied with the ending, although it was pretty predictable. Chronicle of a Death Foretold felt like it dragged on, even though it was just a very short book. So, anyway, obviously people have differing opinions about books, and reading for school, being forced to read on a timeline, is not ideal. It's what I do for these videos, though. Force myself to read on a timeline. But, and answer questions. That's one of the parts that makes me loathe reading for school the most, is the answering questions aspect, because it is, sometimes I just don't know. I don't know what that motif was, and I don't know what this was. But yeah, so we're gonna be jumping in, and we're gonna be seeing if this one is worth reading. So I don't normally annotate books, but I actually have to annotate it quite a lot for school. So it's definitely an interesting perspective. It causes me to read much slower. And one thing I have to say about this book specifically is that it's slightly hard to understand because the dialogue. They talk in an accent, like it's typed out in an accent, which is not very proper English that I speak. So here's an example. Us lived there having fun till they chillin' at school got teasing me about living in the white folks' backyard. So obviously it's saying that as a child, she was teased by other children for living by white folks, and that's not a spoiler because that's just her childhood, that's all. But the way it's written out, I was initially struggling. So I listened to the audiobook while I read. It's a free audiobook on YouTube, and I think it's really nice. I like the way the lady reads. It makes sense because honestly, the chillin', I was like, chillin', huh? It's children. And the way she said it, I was like, oh, okay, that's children. But when I read it, I was like, they're chilling? I don't know. So that's slightly hard about this book, but I'm on chapter 7, and I've gotten used to it. Gotten a lot more used to it. So, interesting. Also, I have been shocked by how quickly, like, I don't know. I expected, like, love stories are slow burns, and they take a long time for these two people to meet and, like, take forever to get together for most of the time. And this one, it's like another one. There's, like, a few men in her life. So anyway, I probably won't be time-lapsing myself reading this book nearly at all because of the fact that I would like to listen along just so I can get a good sense of what the author wants me to know, because I don't want to miss stuff by not being able to understand it. But anyway, this is where I am. Page 76. Also, a boy in my class spoiled what's just about to happen, and I got mad at him, and he was like, just read 6 pages and you'll get there. So in 6 pages, something is going to happen. And so I guess I will update you in 6 pages, I guess. So it's been 6 pages. I don't know how many pages that actually was, but it happened. Now, if I wasn't spoiled, it still wouldn't be a huge shock factor, I guess, because there's a build-up. But, you know, dang that kid, I wouldn't have guessed that would happen. Interesting. I'm gonna be honest, reading these books has made me not feel like reading. I read 1 chapter of Their Eyes Were Watching God a day and 16 pages of, I just got electrocuted by the light. I read 16 pages of The Color Purple, and then I stop reading for the rest of the day, and I don't read anymore. Oh, I also cut my hair. Forgot to mention that. But honestly, it's kind of sickening because I love to read and I haven't read at all. I haven't even been listening to audiobooks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm in a slump or if it's just killed my vibe or what. And BTW, I read that amount because it is the mapped out requirement of how much I have to read to get it done in time. Okay, so we had all class today to read. So I got to chapter 14. And honestly, it's pretty fine. He scared me for a minute. I thought she was about to be the next Annie Taylor. I was so scared. I would never marry someone with a gambling addiction. Just saying. That's not my type of thing. So, interesting to see where it goes. But yeah. I'm just... I'm crashing out because I'm in a book slump. I love reading. And I see all these books and I want to read. And then I just don't read. Okay, maybe it's just because I have a lot of homework right now. It's getting close to graduation season. But I just want to read. I just want to love reading again. We'll see what happens. I think it will happen. I have finished Their Eyes Were Watching God. And honestly, it was fine. It was a 3-star book. I don't know. I liked some of the books I've read for school better, but it wasn't a bad book by any means. The narration was actually really lyrical and pretty to read. It was an interesting book, but I just found myself not really caring to pick it up, especially when I had to force myself for school. I had to read a chapter a day, and I just found that I didn't want to read a chapter a day. And it really shouldn't be hard for me to read one chapter a day, because sometimes I'll literally read half a book in a day. But it was kind of hard for me. In the long chapters, I found myself just being like, kind of bored. And by the end, it's not the happiest ending. Yeah. It was a fine book for school, but not my favorite. I don't know. It gave me an interesting perspective. But yeah, I just don't really care. It was fine though. Like, it was decent. It was decent, like some of the other books I read. Like, I didn't hate it. There have been some books that I really don't like. Angels and Demons. I don't know why I don't like that book. This is better than that. That's all I can say. I don't have anything particularly inspiring to say, because so far, books for school. But I am in a reading slump. But I think this put me in a reading slump. I'm going to be for real. Because I haven't wanted to read. I haven't read, besides my one chapter a day. Even I'm listening to like a thriller audiobook on the side, and I just don't even really want to do that. But I love reading, so that's kind of sickening. And I will get back into it, don't worry. But it literally took me like 20 days to read this. And it's small. It was probably less than that, but yeah. Oh, also I got pretty sick. So I had time to like lay in bed and read, so I did read a little bit, but not my ideal sick activity. I would have much been rather reading an entertaining book. I don't know. There's just not that much to the plot. Let me check. Chapter 18 and 19 had some interesting things happening with the weather and tea cake. So, yeah, you guys probably read that. This is the very end of the book. So, it got interesting at the end, but Now, one of the worst parts about this is not actually the book. It's having to do in-depth analysis. Oh my gosh, I have to do so much work. I haven't even finished, by the way. I don't care about this book enough to analyze it. If you said analyze quotes from Sunrise on the Reaping, I could do that. But I don't have enough love for this book to be analyzing 72 million trillion zillion quotes. It's not a bad book. I just don't care that much. I just don't care that much. Please get me out. I signed up for the class. I know I did. I signed up for AP Lit. But take me out. It's graduation season, please. So I never rated it. I just crashed out. I just genuinely crashed out about the amount of work I had to do. I never rated the book. And it's actually hard because I don't want to be mean. But I think 2 stars. Just because, I don't know, it put me in a reading slump and I just didn't care. I was like, I don't care. I don't care to read it at all. I don't really care what happens. I don't know why I didn't care. It's not a bad book at all. Like I said, it's not a bad book. I just don't care. I just didn't care for it. So, 2 stars? That's crazy. I'm not that harsh of a rater, but I just can't give it, like, I gave Macbeth like a 3.5 and Jane Eyre like a 3, and those were way better. I liked them way better than this one, so maybe I should adjust those ratings, or maybe this one's just a 2. I don't like to rate harshly. I don't like to. Maybe it's a 3 and Jane Eyre is a 3.5. I don't know. The next book we'll be reading is The Color Purple. I have no idea what this is about, but I have been looking forward to reading it. So I have high hopes for a school book. And there's a musical. So if I like it, I will be watching that. You best know I'll be watching that. I love musicals. Anyone who knows anything about me knows I love musicals. So let's read the back and figure out what this is about, because I actually have no idea. But I do think there's a gay character. Woo! This follows Celie, and she is writing letters to God throughout a span of a long time. But later the story shifts to her writing letters to someone else, her sister. It's a story of love, empowerment, and it's sad, honestly. It starts out with Celie having a rough childhood. She has a really rough childhood. And this transitions to her marrying, not out of love, but out of fierce protectiveness for her sister, Nettie. Nettie? I should know that. It's okay. Anyway, this follows their lives. It is a book. Let's read it. And it depicts abuse, which so does this woman. I'm sensing a common theme. These are Black women stories, and they both have some abuse. Interesting. Check trigger warnings if that stuff bothers you, obviously, because, yeah. But let's crack in. I gotta get my purple highlighter because it's the color purple. This one I use my blue highlighter because it's blue. Let's begin. The color purple. I quite enjoy the color purple, so I wonder what's named that. That's a fun starting line, because I was just reading the preface? Whatever. I always mess that word up. It starts with, "You better never tell nobody but God. It'd kill your mammy. Mammy. This one might be read similarly. I actually don't think it is. But if so, at least I have got a knack for reading kind of, I don't know. How would you describe it? Okay, so it's called colloquial. Southern African American dialect. God, am I dumb? I don't know how to say that. Colloquial. Oh, Lord have mercy. I think you get the point. Otherwise, get out of here. Oh my gosh. I got the audiobook on the library app. It's written and read by Alice Walker. She reads the audiobook, which makes me want to listen to it more. Someone is out there. What do you mean it starts like that? What do you mean? Oh, that's sickening. Oh. First page number 1. Welcome to this book. Oh, that's so hard to read. Also, it does have the dialogue that's the same as Their Eyes Were Watching God, but it's slightly less pronounced. Like, this is children. There's no D. Children. And a kind instead of kind. So, not as significant, but yes, there. So, that was just shocked me. First page. Poor thing. Oh, that makes me so sad. Okay. What do you mean that's the second page? What do you mean? It just goes gunshot, gunshot, and so I'm scared to read page 3. Page 4. Going on it. Why is the name, like, redacted? Mr. Blank. Mr. Blank. Mr. Redacted. Why doesn't he have a name? Guess we'll find that out. I just realized there's no quotation marks. And there's a lot of he said, she said, I said. Sorry. Initially off the bat, I can already tell that I want to pick this one up and read it more than I want to read this one. But it's just a start, so. Oh, Sugar's such a queen. Oh, good for her. I feel like, so this is basically saying, Sugar's making Celie a little bit mad, but I think she has the right intentions in her heart. I like her. I also really, really like Sophia, so I'm actually pretty scared to see where her story goes because I just want the best for her. I want the best for Celie, too. I don't want the best for any of those boys. Get the boys out of here. Oh, I just got to a new section of letters, and it's kind of making me a little sad. Okay, baddie! I'm basically on page 200, just one page from page 200. And she is a baddie! What the heck's going on? This is generally a really sad novel, but it's getting happy, and I really hope it stays that way. Because I do still have 70 pages left. So, yesterday, I found myself reading this, and I read past the required 16 pages without even noticing. Wow. Because some days I'm really struggling to get to that 16, and it's just because I have a lot of work. Anyway, yesterday I read past the 16. I know I read, I'm doing math. That should not have been hard. I read 6 pages past it before I realized, oh wait, I already met my goal for today. And then I was like, okay, I'll take a break. But I honestly could have kept reading. I didn't even notice that I met my goal, which is a good sign because I wasn't like looking at the page numbers, because literally I have the page numbers, like it's highlighted when I have to stop. I'll show you. I went through and just highlighted when I had to stop. So that's a good sign because, look, that's when I have to stop. That's a good sign because that means I was into the story enough that I didn't notice. But today, I did not want to pick it up, and I don't know why. I don't know why. Honestly, I was really happy with the ending. I wrote pants, giant with a smiley face. If anyone knows, they know. I wrote giant word pants. But I don't know, I didn't want to pick it up today. I think it's just because I did a lot of work. But I'm going to do something illegal. And I'm going to not read my 16 pages today. Oh my gosh. I'll have to make up for it over the weekend or something. But I can't do it today. I did so much work on my other book. Their Eyes Are Watching God, as you guys saw. So anyway, yeah. But so far I'm happy with where it's going. I hope it stays that way. This is me realizing that I don't think I ever finished my classics video. I'm just in the middle of a lot of videos, I guess. So, I'm gonna talk about it, okay? So I read The Color Purple. If I've already filmed this, then I'll just scrap this. But basically, reading The Color Purple and Their Eyes Were Watching God, I got into a really big reading slump that I'm still fighting to this day. Check out the video that I'm trying to get out of a reading slump. But yeah, it wasn't a bad book. I'm happy with the ending of it. I thought I was going to be extremely disappointed with the ending until things took a turn and I became extremely happy with the ending, honestly. I liked Celia as a character. I liked her sister Nettie. I liked Shug. I really enjoyed LGBT representation, and I thought it was an interesting story, but just not my favorite. I found when I was reading Nettie's letters, I was bored. Um, but near the end, I started to get really connected to the characters and excited for what their life brought. So, anyway, let me think about a rating right now. I think I'll rate it 3 stars because I rated Jane Eyre 3 stars, and I think I liked Jane Eyre better. On my AP Lit exam, I used Jane Eyre as my novel, so yeah, I think I like Jane Eyre better. It's safe to say that classics and school books haven't been my thing, but we're going to try to read one more. We're going to try to read one more, even if this video takes the rest of the year. Okay, so I still have a few classic books or school books I want to get to. I have Pride and Prejudice, I have Wuthering Heights, I have The Handmaid's Tale. The Handmaid's Tale? Yeah, but that's the one I want to read, The Handmaid's Tale, because I'm not in the mood for a romance. So, this isn't a romance, right? I got it like 50% off. So, I don't really know anything about it, but I will not be censored. Okay, The Handmaid's Tale, we are going to be reading this. This is a book set in a dystopian future where a second world war is caused by a declining birth rate, and fertile women are enslaved into kind of like baby producing. So there's strict gender roles and strict rules, and women have to produce babies because of the declining birth rate. That is what this is about. It's a censorship, Fahrenheit 451 vibe. And yeah, so let's get into the book. In my opinion, more of an interesting concept than the other two. Did not realize this had a sequel. If it's good, I'll be reading that. If it's not, I will be not, I guess. I've really been enjoying listening to the Handmaid's Tale audiobook while completing my book puzzle. Everyone want to see? Here's the book puzzle. Gorgeous, beautiful. Not done. But look, Handmaid's Tale featured. So that birth scene was very Midsummer-esque. Like, I just watched Midsummer recently, and I was, like, having flashbacks. Kind of trauma. I'm done with my puzzle, and I've listened to about 50% of the audiobook. But yeah, here it is. They say the banner covers the building's former name, some dead president they shot. It's just like, it's supposed to be in the future, and history just doesn't matter anymore. Like, you know, JFK or Lincoln, one of the presidents who was shot, they just don't matter anymore. Different things matter. It's interesting. They don't have money anymore. Money is not a thing, and I've always wondered if money could go away. Like, if there was a way for money to go away. Because in our current society, it doesn't feel like it, but then you read something like this, and money does go away, but traded for something similar. Alexa, What is the word Sussurration? But people will do anything rather than admit that their lives have no meaning, no use, that is no plot. This reminds me of the play Urinetown, which I saw, which was really good. You go too far away and they just take you up to the chemistry lab and shoot you. Then they burn you up with the garbage like an unwoman, so forget it. Don't you remember the terrible gap between the ones who could get a man easily and the ones who couldn't? Some of them were desperate. They starved themselves thin or pumped their breasts full of silicone, had their noses cut off. Think of the human misery. So they're thinking that they're doing everyone a service. Money was the only measure of worth for everyone. They got no respect as mothers. They can fulfill their biological destinies in peace. What? Love is not the point. Love is not the point. It's kind of the whole point. Maybe I'm crazy, but I'm on like 221, and this is one of the first times I've seen quotation marks. That was it. The Jezebels was interesting. This whole section is called Jezebels. And that was interesting. I guess it's still going. One more chapter, but I liked hearing about that. What the hell? What the hell? I was bubble wrapping for the move and just listening to the audiobook because I was like, oh, I still have like an hour left. And I just finished it. And it just ends. And what happens? Does this mean I have to read the next one because I don't want to read it yet? It's just done. Okay, I'll give my review in a little bit. I'm going to a party after. I'll think on it. It's just over. I'm just done. What? I'm in shock. Okay, so still don't have my thoughts, but I just wanted to give a little analogy about how that just felt. It felt like, okay, so you're watching a show, right? And you're on the season finale, but you didn't know, so it ends on a cliffhanger. And the thing is, I want to know, like, I want to read what happens next, but I don't really want to start the new book. It's like the cliffhanger happens and you don't really want to start the new season yet. You're kind of like, oh, I don't want to start the new season, but maybe I just want to watch 15 minutes to know what happens. But no, I can't just read 15 minutes of a book. So I do think I will read it. I don't think I will read it next. I don't even have it. I'm going to have to get the audiobook probably, because I mostly audiobooked that one because I was packing and stuff. And doing my puzzle, but I did read some, and it was actually more entertaining to read than audiobook. But I'm very busy. Very busy. Or I don't feel like sitting down and reading. My attention span feels fried. So yeah, I will let you know my review in a minute. And yeah. I think that The Handmaid's Tale is a good 3.5. I think it was pretty equal to Macbeth. But I need to say this right now. I think I gave Jane Eyre a disservice with a 3-star rating. I think it deserves a little bit more. It was just kind of boring for a summer read where I could be reading whatever I wanted, but I had to be reading for school. Again, that's kind of the problem, right? But it did have, like, interesting stuff. I feel like it could tie with Jane Eyre. It could tie with Macbeth, kind of up there. I don't know. I have a really hard time reading school books because the thing is that I don't, like, enjoy them that much. Just period. I don't enjoy them that much. but, like, I don't hate them. I don't want to give them a bad rating because I didn't hate it. The Handmaid's Tale was interesting. Like, it was very interesting, and I wanted to know what was going to happen to Offred, Oglen, what the frick are their names? Oglen, Offred, Mara, them. I wanted to know what was going to happen, so I was entertained enough. And this is the quickest I've read a book in a while because I'm struggling. But I think it's these that are putting me in a reading slump. I think this is the problem. Like, but also, I just don't want to read. Period. So, are school books worth it? Let me think about that. Are school books or classic books good? Objectively, yes. The stories they tell are good stories to learn, and I'm going to continue reading classics, but are they favorites of mine? No. And I think it's because I read for entertainment. I read as an entertainment factor, and they're not as interesting as stupid little stories about dragons and magic and stuff. And that's okay. If it's more entertaining to you, then that's great for you, but not for me. But I'm still gonna try because I do take a lot out of classics. Like Fahrenheit 451, and that's a school book I read. I relate that to my own life and like our own society very well. And that is just like, Fahrenheit 451. I'm glad I read that one. But then there's Chronicle of a Death Foretold where I'm just like, why did I read that? I don't care a single ounce about what happened in that book. Sorry. I apologize. And the thing is, I feel bad. I can't rate, like, things low. Because, what was that book I read? Their Eyes Are Watching God? It wasn't that bad. And The Color Purple, like, the ending was nice. I learn a lot from these stories. But it's just objectively more boring in my mind, and I still think it's worth reading for the stories that I tell, but dispersed in between entertainment, at least for myself. So let me know what you guys think down below. Thanks for watching. I'll probably make another one of these eventually because I want to like classics. I want to read Pride and Prejudice. I want to read Wuthering Heights. I have those two. I might have more. I might read the Testaments. So, and I want to read 1984 and maybe Animal Farm. They're appealing in my brain. So I want them to become appealing in my heart. Bye.